this video, I am going to review how to access the library databases to help you find sources for our next essay prompt. So by now, you've reviewed the iSay essay prompt. If you haven't reviewed it, I say pause this video, go to Canvas, download the essay prompt that I have pulled up here. Make sure that you take your time to review it and you fully understand what the prompt is asking you to do. So after you reviewed it, you know that you are writing an essay that talks about alternative points that someone poses. And when I say someone, I mean like a writer, a credible source has posed these alternative points that you didn't bring up in your discussion for the They Say essay, the previous essay that you turned in. So in your previous essay, you had a thesis, and in your thesis, you were making a main point about something dealing with technology, about what our main concern should be about technology, and you were responding to that question. So for this assignment, I want you to consider what your position is for the They Say essay, and then I want you to locate two sources that say something that presents something different. So it doesn't have to be something that is completely counter or opposite to what you're saying, but the source should present an idea that you hadn't considered in relation to the main idea that you posed for the They Say essay. So it's really important that first that you understand your position, and then from there you're looking for sources that talk about your topic but in a slightly different way than you did. If you find sources that are saying something completely opposite or posing an argument that is completely opposite to what you've said, then that's fine too. So what I want us to do for this assignment is that you should go to our Canvas site, and on our Canvas site, click on the DACC library link on the left-hand navigation. So towards the bottom, you'll see the DACC library link. Click on it. Click on this open in a new tab. So it takes you to an outside browser. If you're not at school, so if you're not using the DACC site, then you will need to put in your username that you use to log on to Canvas or to your campus email. So put in your username and your password, and then you're able to log into the library website. So this is the library website, the homepage. And what we're doing is we're clicking on the databases. Now, the databases, if you've never used databases before, what databases are is that they house journals. So journals are periodicals, so either every month or every few months or every year or every spring or summer. So periodical means periodically you'll have these journals that come out. And these journals are the ones that the library has, mostly are academic. And what that means is that they are written by someone who is probably a university or college instructor or professor, and they're writing to their peers. So they're writing to other people in their field, and other people in their field get to say whether the work that they've submitted is worthy enough to be published in certain journals. So that's what makes them credible, that other people have looked at their work and refereed their work, meaning it goes through a peer review process. So an academic will submit their article, and then their peers get to say, okay, this is good enough for our journal. A lot of times they get rejected. So if they're accepted to a journal, that means that they've gone through a rigorous process in order to get included in the journal. So that's what makes it a credible source. So this is what makes it different than just a posting online, or even a source that maybe is like in a more informal type magazine. It will not be as credible as something that's found in these databases. So for our purposes, because you're looking for something that poses an alternative view, I would say I'm going to suggest 2 to 3 databases that you can go to. So a database, think of a database as like this system that organizes these journals. So a lot of times these journals are hard copy, but they get scanned or they get uploaded, so you'll find these electronic version type of journals here. So once you're in the databases, or click on databases, then click right here where it says see all databases. So click there. And the first one I'm going to suggest is found under the C's. So you'll go to C and scroll down, and you'll go to CQ. So the CQ one. And if I did that too fast, what I did was I went to the CQ one, I clicked on it, and it took me to this page. So CQ Researcher is really helpful for an assignment like this, because this database is already designed to show you like alternative views on popular topics, or what they call hot topics. So if you notice on the right hand side here, you'll see topics that are controversial and that are in our conversation right now. So especially like with our election coming up, you'll see how like these hot topics relate to our election. Every now and then they'll have a feature report. So even look at the feature report here, the future of the book. So this is all related to what we've been talking about in terms of technology. So just by the title here, I can tell that they're talking about like the traditional books that most people are used to. The hard copy, you have a front, you have a cover, and you go through the book. And I'm sure that this article is talking about like, is the ebook gonna replace the traditional book? So and that's something that's related to the argument that you made in the first essay. This is something that you could perhaps look at. And so the way that CQ organizes their topics is, so you have this particular topic, so this one's about the future of the book. It gives you like an overview. So if I were to click here on read the full report, it'll show me the response to this question. Will print survive the onslaught? And then it tells me, if I click on this tab here that says current situation, it tells me what the situation is regarding this particular topic. So currently, what is the conversation around this topic? It gives me a chronology or a timeline on like how this topic has evolved. So it kind of gives me a history about the topic. But what I find most useful is this pro-con tab. What it does is that it shows a scholar or an academic who takes on the pro side of this, and then it shows a scholar or an academic who takes on the con side of it. And when I say scholar or academic, I mean like somebody that's directly working in this area. So it's not just some random scholar or academic. It's somebody whose work and their profession and things that they've written have directly related to this particular topic. So I'm not going to click on that one because that one's somewhat easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't think my screenshot is showing this, but if you look up here above about, you should see the search bar. So what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put technology, because that's what we've been working on. And so I'll put technology and see what I get regarding that topic. So here it'll give me different subtopics that relate to the broader topic of technology. So if you notice, it tells me like this one, technology addiction, internet and technology, the one we were just looking at, the future of the book. Some of them don't relate at all. So if you notice, or are like not related directly, so not at all, but it for some reason it brought it up, but it's not completely related to it. So this universal basic income one is talking more about basic income for everybody. So I'm sure it's talking about the loss of jobs because of technology. So that might be something that is related to your topic as well, but it's the whole issue isn't directly about technology. So depending on what argument you made, it might be appropriate to review. So basically what you do, look at the hits that came up. So look at the different subheadings and see if one might be useful for you. So I'll click on this first one, technology addiction. And here you'll see how it's organized. So this is the question that's being answered. So is obsessive computer use a mental health disorder? So it's taught, is obsessive computer use a mental health disorder? So here this writer, Susan Ladicka, answers the question. And then it gives you an overview of the topic, like I said. So it gives you like background information, which might be helpful. And here on the left hand side, you'll see how the page is divided. So it gives you the overview, gives you some background, the current situation. And here's the one, the pro-con one, that I think is useful. So these people also answer that same question or a related question. So they're answering the question, is technology addiction a valid diagnosis? So this professor in UC San Francisco, this doctor professor is answering that question, and then this psychologist at Stetson University is taking the con side and saying, no, like this is not a valid diagnosis. So this website or this database already does the work for you. If you were like arguing in your first essay that our overuse of technology is a problem, then maybe you can read what Christopher Ferguson is saying, because he's arguing that it's not really a problem. And then here on the right hand side, what it gives you also related reports. So these reports might not necessarily give you this thorough investigation or this thorough information that these broad topics bring up, but some of these reports are really useful, and some of them do give you this thorough reporting. The only thing to keep in mind is look at the dates. I would say the more recent the information, the better, especially since we're talking about technology. A lot of the articles I shared with you were already dated, and most of them were written after 2010. And I know some of you like talked about video games, so that might be something that you want to discuss in paper number 2. So look at what maybe might be a potential source that you could use. So I'm gonna stop this video right here, and then I'm going to post a second video so I can show you the other database that I think might also be helpful. So this one was CQ Researcher, and this is a good time for me to take a break, and I will let you use the time to look at the CQ Researcher and see if there's a potential source that you could use. And then I will ask you to watch the second video so you can look at the second database that I recommend that you look at.